Hello, testing, testing, testing. Okay, looks like I'm live now. So how do I embed this into my web page, the Presence Portal web page? Oh, this works. Hello, hello, testing, testing.
This works. Hello, hello, testing, testing. This works. Hello, hello, testing, testing. This works. Hello, hello, testing, testing. This works.
Okay, now we're live streaming. This is Cinco de Mayo, October. This is April 18th, 2025. Order. It's so good. Can you make a message for me? Today is I'm going to do my first live session on Presence Portal, and today is also Cinco de Mayo, and the 18th Monday of 2025. I'm officially back from 28 days of I call it the AI-cation, and this is where I have set this up amongst other things. So I'm gonna try it out today. Excited. And so write me a little message, an invitation with the link. That's inwardexpedition.ca slash presence dash portal to all my friends. I'm gonna post it, see if anybody will show up. Right now it's 9:06. I'm already live, but the session starts at 9:30. Come in, come in. Come in? Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. I'm just playing. I'm doing something different. I'm just trying to figure out how to, hey, how are you? I'm going to figure out how to do this, I'm going to, see if I can live stream this stuff. Oh, that'd be good. Just the blackboard and also myself talking. Nobody else has to be on it. Nobody going to be on it, just me. How are things? Not too bad. 9:25 already. Okay, this is good. So let me see if I get blackboard video mode, photo mode. Yeah, this is good. This is going to be very good. Huh. This is good. Okay, Smokey. What's happening? Well, I'm back. Back in business.
How was your trip? Did you have a nice time?
Didn't go anywhere. Just kind of hung out with my son for most of it.
Oh, I thought you traveled somewhere.
You would think, right? But it didn't go anywhere. It was just, I realized it was okay here. And also, it was more interesting. I got, just do what you want, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Time to spend time with your son?
Yeah, it's nice. I went to Ottawa, went to find out what he does, met his boss and everybody else. He got this sweet job with the government, but really good work, important work. Trying to get people together.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of good. It's like this job. They're like they organize all the like sometimes the business, right, don't necessarily are the smartest when it comes to making decisions. That's good for everyone, right?
Yeah,
So you need sort of voice from everywhere.
yeah. Different ideas.
Yeah, different ideas. You end up with a better decision after at the end of the day for everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you want to do things in a certain way, and if you ignore like a whole bunch of people and don't listen to what they say, you might think you get the job done good, but you don't, because in the long run, you end up like with some bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
So you decide, hey, hang on, maybe I should have listened a little bit,
Yeah.
But those voices has to have a strength, otherwise it's easy to ignore them.
Oh, yes.
So the ability to make sure they're heard. And it's not yelling and screaming. That doesn't work. It's diplomacy and all those things, right? Those people have a responsibility. If you want your voice to be heard, you gotta also step up to the plate with, show yourself in a certain way. And that takes a lot.
Yeah. It's not a good boss that's not listening to all the ideas.
Yeah, if you don't listen to them, you're gonna miss stuff.
But there's a lot of bosses that, hey, I'm the boss, I'll do my way.
Yeah, but then exactly. No, the boss has a job to listen. The employee has a job to speak up. But you can't just go to the boss and says, you're a stupid boss. If you say that, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You're gonna get booted right out. You have done no good except throw yourself under the bus. If you're gonna do that, you might as well shut up.
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy, man. Yes. I have a respect for politicians. To be a really good politician is very hard.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna like you anyways, but you still have to do it.
You can't be very sensitive if you're just.
Oh, you can't be like about yourself too much. If you think about like what people think of you, you ain't gonna get nothing done. You can't be worrying too much about stuff.
You won't get any sleep at night.
You won't get any sleep. Nobody will get any sleep. Your wife won't get any sleep. It's just gonna be trouble.
You'll be laying there worrying about the next day.
I know. That's why you look at them. Some of them as like ruthless or heartless. I don't know. I know their decision. That's a pretty tough decision to make, some of them. Okay. Going to work on, I'm live now, live. I got a couple of people testing for me on the other side.
Oh,
Well, just friends.
that's all right.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, hello, whoever is watching. Let's see. See, on live, you don't know who's watching, do you?
No.
Which is kind of good.
Are you getting this?
Well, look at this.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out how it runs. Concurrent viewers is 2. Well, that's. Oh, there's actually one person in there. Oh, this is good. So now you can just log on now on the page in your life. Okay, this is good. What if I was to do this? Would that show up?
Hi, kid.
Hi, Sherry.
Am I gonna be the only one here again?
I don't know, that's not a bad thing.
No?
Why not? You have a room to yourself.
The rest of the world is online with me right now. I'm live streaming.
The whole
To
world?
who?
The world, the universe is streaming. We're streaming right now from Ajax Harvard Clinic, Cinco de Mayo.
Ah, yeah.
Yep. I should put this on the other side and then I can see my big blackboard. But then I would be looking at the wall. See, I can only stream on this thing right now. I have to have 50 subscribers. You guys have subscribed to my channel. You gotta give me 50 subscribers. Then I can stream from here.
Okay.
Because right now I have to be locked to my desktop. Because they see Google, they have to put different layers of subtle things in there to control, to try to protect the viewers. Because they don't want some teenagers showing themselves in a washroom and live streaming, right? Right? It's a little hard to do it from a desktop. So it depends on what kind of privacy what kind of privilege you get. You have to kind of like, they look at you, okay, you're a legit business, you've been running and you're a doctor. They'll give you a little bit more privilege, but they don't know right now who I am.
No.
So they have to learn from me. They have algorithms to check you. So one of those criteria is if you got 50 subscribers, then at least there's 50 people in this world, right?
Yeah.
They can check all those people. They're all legit people,
What
right?
What channel do you have to subscribe to? YouTube?
Inward Expedition, just my channel.
But like on YouTube?
YouTube.
Okay, that I'll do. Right now, I won't do any other social media, but I'll do YouTube.
YouTube is really good. See, the good
I
thing.
don't save my history on YouTube, so I have nobody I subscribe to. Every day is a new thing on YouTube for me if I even look at it. I'll subscribe to you and I'll tell Artemis to promote it because she has people.
Yeah, maybe she can give me 50 subscribers.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
She comes see you tomorrow.
Hmm?
Oh, tomorrow she comes see you Wednesday. She wants to see you about remember what we talked about in the office?
Yep.
She wants to see you, so that's cool.
Okay, it's 9:33. We get started. So welcome everyone to Group Ear Acupuncture. So we have decided this is the first time that we're putting it online. And because, see, even though we call it Group Ear Acupuncture, but the session does not actually require ear acupuncture. The ear acupuncture really is an optional piece. The magic is in actually the fact that we show up and to experience what is it like to simply showing up with no conditions, no agenda, purely just curiosity. There's no doing, there's no instruction. So in this process, I say 5 things. The first thing is we cannot get it wrong. Okay, this is in contrast to what we would, let's say, go to class, go to school, go to training, even playing a game, right? Even we go and play a game, take a dance class, or go to yoga class. How about even go to meditation? There's a sense that, oh, there's an instruction, there's the guru over there, there's my teacher, the instruction meditation teacher. I better just follow the instruction carefully, make sure I get it right, get it wrong. People go away sometimes from the sessions thinking, I'm a bad meditator. I can't do that. I've done it before. That's why I don't call this meditation. I don't call it mindfulness training. I don't call it anything. I just call it unconditional observation, or just showing up without instructions and see what is it like. So this is how we set it up. Okay. So every single word is an instruction, right? So how do you give an instruction without giving an instruction? I would say this: we invite people, right, to give themselves the permission to do nothing for the next 35 minutes. To do it with eyes closed, phone shut off. So there's nobody, we protect this time from interruptions. So people are not going to say, hey, Carlos, you got to go do something. All right. So this is a busy clinic. So they know not to do that when I'm doing this work. So that's all. So keep your phone shut off. Keep your eyes closed. Why? Because those are also little signals coming in through your eyes saying, hey, you got to make some sense out of this. This is room set up this way. Hey, there are constantly signals coming in. So we do this practice with our eyes closed if you want. All right. So it's still, once again, you can do what you want, but this is how we set it up. Give ourselves the permission to do nothing. That's the first thing. And there's 3 things you will notice after that. One is that your body doesn't stop just because you choose to do nothing. Let's say you make that choice. Number 1, your body doesn't stop. The body composes organs, skin. And when you recognize your body bodying, we call it body bodying, it's a sensation. There's the classic 5 senses that we always talk about. And then there are many other senses we realize in your body. There are senses that are inside your body. We don't have words for them. Sometimes we label them as emotions. Well, that's my feeling, right? And then we have different words for that. So you will notice sensations. That's when your body's bodying. And the inside chemistry translates to a certain awareness, So you would notice that too. We call them categorically different sensations. And then you will notice the other thing will happen. Your breath will continue. The breath doesn't stop. So this is contrast to a breath exercise. You're asked to breathe in a certain pattern, a certain way. In this case, you will notice that your breath will take care of all by itself. And if you happen to do a breath practice, just recognize that's just the brain that has to give instruction to the body. It's unprogrammed. The baby breathes without any problems. The baby breathes perfectly, right? And you will notice. So we go back to that place. Just recognize that your breath will take care of itself, even if you do nothing, just like the body will take care of itself. So you've given yourself permission to do nothing, and that is what it is. The body will continue, the breath will continue. And the third and the last thing is the brain. The brain will continue. The brain doesn't stop. When the brain brains, it produces thoughts. It's just like when the body bodies, it produces sensation. So in this experience, very little has to be, you don't have to believe anything. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe any of the books you've read. Right? This is purely experiential. When I say experiential, is the experience of riding a bicycle is what truly gets us the balance we need on a bicycle. It's not the teachers that teach us. It's not the books we've read. Really, underneath it all is our body reacting to gravity, to the bicycle, to the falling to the right, to the falling to the left, the handlebars turn. This is all just one system. This is called experiential learning. This is what truly gives us the balance in something like bicycle. But this is the case in many, many things in life. Now, so this process does not require us to believe anything. It's purely an experience. And this experience is the experience of what is like just be. When you give yourself permission to do nothing, you recognize your body will body, your breath will breath, and finally your brain will brain, and you'll produce thoughts. So you're off the hook. You don't have to say quieten your mind like in a meditation class or something. You have to like empty your mind or become empty or become anything. It's whatever happens, happens. So your mind is busy, let it be busy. If your mind is quiet, be quiet. And if you notice yourself saying, I'm going to let it be this way, well, that's just more thoughts too. Every single thought is the brain. Just recognize it for what it is. There's nothing for me to do. It's simply, and there's nothing for you to do, right? And nothing for you to believe, and nothing for me to believe, except the possibility that everything simply works. Just for 35 minutes, believing the possibility that your body knows how the body, your breath knows how the breath, and your brain knows how the brain. So whatever comes up, it's okay. So I'm gonna just, so now for the people in this room already, they've had the pins in place. Okay, so wherever you are, if you're watching, you're tuning in. So you simply close your eyes. You can do the same exercises, and the acupuncture needles can slow things down a little bit to make this observation a little bit easier for people who are having very intense feelings and very busy thoughts. But you can do this if you found a little protected time and space. So thank you very much for being here. And I'll put on the clock in about 35 minutes. Okay. We'll come back and we will go to the next part of the program. Hello, Ken.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can. No better person than you to show up today. I always like this. This is the best vacation ever.
What, you?
Yeah, I went to see my son a couple of times. It was really nice.
How old is your son, Curly?
35. Got to hang out with him a bit.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so just real quick.
Yeah.
So for all those who just attending this for the first time, I know you don't have the acupuncture pins in, but it doesn't matter. We do the same thing. At this point, as a group, what we do is we sit in a circle. If you were in this room, you'll see people sitting in a circle. And so you're part of the circle now, so welcome. So once again, I acknowledge the magic that we're all here and the magic that somehow we're able to extricate from our regular routine in life to be able to show up and just simply experience what is it like to give ourselves the permission to do nothing and get everything perfect. And so you would have noticed different things, body to body. You may notice sensation or the breath. Of course, you notice your breathing. And then finally, you notice the brain. You're doing all sorts of things. They don't stop. The brain doesn't stop, like the kidneys don't stop. It's just doing what it needs to do. And sometimes the brain is very interesting. The brain can come up with what we call questions, but those are just thoughts, isn't it? This is like brain's doing its brain's job. Now, sometimes the brain has a question, has something else. It says that I need to have an answer, not just a question. There's another thought inside there saying that here, I'm not just asking a question, I want an answer. And sometimes the brain has no answers. And the brain gets a little upset. The brain keeps asking the same question over and over again. And so there's three things, you see, the brain can do. The brain can ask a question. The brain can says, I really want an answer. It's good to have an answer. And then the brain can actually get upset, say, somehow things are not right because they don't have an answer. See, the kidney doesn't have that problem. See, when the kidney makes urine, it just makes urine. Nobody questioned it. It's just the way it is. So, and then we trust many things in life. Like, for example, if your kidney makes urine, you don't think about, oh, there's a problem. Right? If you can have questions about, you can have a question about how the kidney works. Doesn't matter if it works or not. Even if it doesn't, even if you don't have an answer as to how the kidney works, you still can trust that the kidney works. So in this same way, you see, the brain is it's just a little bit different. So in this sitting, we start to realize how everything is. So now what we do is we invite people to share what they've noticed. Now, okay, so that's introduction and of this part of the program. Now we're just going to let people share something, so we can keep it. So the way, what we say is this: you don't have to share if you don't want to, and this process doesn't require us to share. But by sharing, we put something out there, and it could help other people. And you can say as much as you want, and you're the full authority of your experience, and no one can tell you that you didn't have that experience. And how you label it is entirely up to you as well. But as listeners, we know that we cannot fully experience what you've experienced, and we cannot fully appreciate, even through your labels, through your description, what you're actually experiencing. So we leave a wide open space for people to share, and we listen with curiosity and listen with gratitude. All right, so okay, so for people who are listening, we have one person in this room. I just came back from holiday, so we don't have a lot of people here. so, so other than me, I'm not the only one here. I have someone showed up here, be my guinea pig, and thanks to everyone else who's looking in. I know there's a couple of people here. There may be one person. So if you want to share, if you're logging online, you can use the chat, or underneath there's a little Google form. If you fill it in there, so we invite people to share what they actually noticed when they did nothing. For example, the body did something. What did they notice, right? So if you want to share something at the bottom, there's a link at the bottom that you can go in, and your sharing will be posted. So, but you will be screened. So anything that's private, see issues, you'll get screened out. Any names of places, people, and so on will get screened out. And also, yeah, so make sure that whoever reads it, will be, yeah, we have everybody's sort of a general public's interest in mind when we post those things. So you can give it a try. But otherwise, we will be back tomorrow, 9:30, and we'll see. Oh, here we got something. I'm going to read this out. This is pretty good. Okay, everybody can see it anyways, and nobody else is here. I'm going to read it. We have felt moments of increased braining and decreased braining. Watch as the brain oscillated between high and low activities. That is magic. Thank you so much. It's the quality of our. See, when we see, that's clear evidence of presence. You're noticing the braining. It's just like you're noticing the skin doing the sensation thing. This is very much a present moment experience. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I have thoughts in my head and I'm not present." Well, that's not true, to me, anyways. So definitely, if you're sensory aware, sensation cannot fool you from the here and now. The outer presence is not the default mode. The default mode is presence. The outer presence mode is when there's an illusion created by having so many thoughts that we eventually feel like we're inside the thoughts. But if you're watching the thoughts, just like how they appear, just like we're watching the sensation, we're observing the lights hitting our retina, that is from a place of presence. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, fear is just a sensation. Yeah, well, and let me share my truth. A fear, see, sometimes we label certain emotions as happy, sad, fearful, anger. What is it? If you ask yourself, each one of those labels that the brain is braining up, the brain is labeling something. What is it labeling? It's labeling a sensation. Exactly right. There's a sensation underneath that we are aware. At that moment, the thought shows up to label. It's just doing what it's supposed to do, to label that inner sensation. That inner sensation is a chemistry. So if we're like charged up by some events, which is normal, you're supposed to get that from time to time. If there's a tiger in the room, you're supposed to have a certain emotional state, chemical state. And that chemical state, high adrenaline, is going to get you out of trouble. So protective. So it doesn't have to be the tiger. It could be, let's say you have a deadline that you have to work on. You get a little bit more concentration. Or if you have a performance to go to, you need to have that little bit more chemistry in order to get the job done. Now, the brain is going to label. The brain will assign label to that sensation. Sometimes it's very, very blunt in it doesn't have discreteness to label. So you'll just throw a word on top like anxiety or stress. And the trouble with those words is that they don't come by themselves. They come with a luggage. Those words have what's called connotations. They have a negative charge to them. Instead of saying, hey, I'm a little bit stressed, it's what I need to get this job done, it's like, oh, will be different. That I'm anxious and somehow there's something wrong with me. So there's a whole story can be attached to those connotations. So a sequence of thoughts will appear. At that moment, we're in the loop. Right? Then identify with the state that I am anxious, I'm an anxious person, or I'm a fearful person. Having a reaction to a tiger being here is normal. How I choose to relate to it, if the tiger's in the room, I should probably run, right? It's probably not the chance, maybe it's not the time to fight, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The tiger's too big, you don't want to fight, right? So being in the moment is the key. Help you decide what is appropriate, whether it's to flight or it's to flee, right? So in the moment is the key. And sometimes there's no tiger in the room. The brain can imagine a tiger in the past or tiger in the future, right? It could be a memory of a tiger, could be an imagination of a future tiger. And then the body is in that state. But those thoughts can loop you. And then there's no tiger. And now we're suffering. The tiger that's not even there. So this is why having the awareness of what's really happening is the key. And then when you realize, oh, here's a sensation, here's the label. And if we're not attached to that label, recognize the label for what they are, another label will show up. The next label is that, hey, it's okay. This is what I need in this moment. So thank you for sharing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video, I'm going to clip out the front part, the introduction part, and I'm going to cut out the dead piece in between, like the quiet piece when we're sitting. And then finally, the integration piece, I'm going to put in the playlist. So there will be 2 playlists. You'll continue to show up in this thing called Presence Portal. And then we'll continue to co-create the content. And it's for everybody's benefit. And then this is the project that came out of my 28 days vacation. So thank you all.
Oh, are you finished it?
I'm finished here. So I thought maybe you'd like to share something, if you want.
If you're trying to achieve something, I have found, you just have to let it naturally happen. If you keep striving for it, that's the barrier that won't let you pass through to where you want to be. That's, I think. Sometimes when I'm looking at the computer, I'll see something beautiful, something that touches me. Somebody says something or a picture or whatever. And then I feel this emotional well up inside my chest. And sometimes I get a tear or two. And it's not a sad tear or two. It's an absolutely beautiful tear or two. It's not a gift I have. I feel like somebody's giving me a gift more than just a gift that I'm acquiring. And I like listening to you because I learn a lot from you, and I take it in. You were just talking about fear and stuff like that. something that happened to me maybe about 4 years ago. I was on my front lawn and it was summertime and I saw something halfway up a tree. It was the tree was about 40 feet and I wanted to get that branch out of there or whatever. So I got the ladder and I put it up. I'm not good with heights. And it was about 20 feet up. And I climbed the ladder up as much as I could to get to the lower branches, which were substantial. And I started going up this, it was a big maple tree. And I started going up and I got to this top. And then I adjusted from this limb to this limb. And then I grabbed onto this limb and I moved over to, I'm trying to lean over a little bit to get to this branch. And I did it. I cut the branch. And it's beautiful up here. I couldn't see anything because the foliage was so dense. I didn't want to come down, I'm really stupid. I came down, I got to the ladder and I came down. Time passed and the fall came. There was no leaves on the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed something up there in that same spot that I didn't like all that much. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna go up there, it'll just take a minute. I couldn't go up. And the reason I couldn't, well, I went up a couple of branches and then I thought, forget this. So just like you were saying about fear, that was all in my mind. I couldn't see the ground. So there was no fear. And I thought, it is psychological. It's to a certain degree. I mean, you're afraid for your life. You don't want to fall off the tree. But because I was up high and I couldn't see anything, the danger was taken away. It was the height that was bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
I may say one more thing and then I'm going to get out of here to let you get busy. I was on a cruise. I went up to the whatever level where the lifeboats are, and the guy said, if there's ever a problem, you have to get off this ship. He says, there's no railing. He says, just lift this up and jump off. And I looked at my wife and I said, he's out of his mind. I wouldn't jump out of this. Holy Jesus, we were up 3 floors. I don't care if there's water down there. After I'd been up there 6 or 7 days, I could jump up this because I was used to the height.
Mm.
And not just used to the height. When we were going through this drill, we were docked. And the trees, and the buildings, and the people way down there, and all that around you gave you the sense of height and where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Once we were out in the ocean, there was no height. Because the ocean was flat. There was no trees. There was no people. I couldn't look, I could look down, but like in the tree, I couldn't see anything. But when I was out in the ocean, I couldn't see anything. I wasn't relative to height.
Yeah, the ocean, whether it's this patch of ocean looks the same.
Yeah.
Close anyways.
But there was nothing in the horizon. It was just flat. And it seemed to take away the illusion of height because there was no reference.
That's very important information.
And those two things stuck with me and will be forever probably because it's something that just naturally happened. Not that I was forcing something to happen or trying to find peace or trying to get over the fear of height. It put me in a situation where it took it away. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
It's hard to say.
It's like to your previous point where you say it's not like you had a gift. It was like a gift given to you.
Yes.
Why is that you were here at one point,
Yeah.
scared,
Yeah.
and now you're in the point where you're like, now you have this extra way of seeing the things, and and it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily want to jump out. If I had to, I could, kind of thing. You know, it's like it's okay. Versus being petrified, it's
Yeah.
like,
Because I was beyond there, and there was no reference to height. I didn't know how high it was. I was going to say down in the water looked nice. And I didn't know if it was 50 feet or 10 feet or 40 feet. I knew it was up substantial.
Mhm.
Am I making any sense?
100%. You know, I can identify. I used to have fear of heights. That's how I know. But it's not just fear of heights. It could be any kind of fear. It's like, you know, what's really powerful is, well, first of all, I also want to acknowledge one thing. You know how you said you get that nice
That
warm feeling? Okay, I heard that.
it wells up.
Yeah, I get that with the tears and everything. I
Yeah.
call the glimmer drop incoming. Glimmer drop incoming, you know, it's like I get that feeling. And that's a gift. To me, that's a gift. It's like, why do I get to feel that?
It's a wonderful feeling.
It's incredible.
I
It's
get
like-
that with maybe a movie that could bring you to tears,
Yeah.
or a beautiful song.
Mhm.
Not a lot of things do it to me, but I do get that feeling. And I'm glad you do too, because
And I do.
It's very
And-
emotional.
Yeah, and I come to realize that you don't need anything to get to that feeling. That is the default feeling, I realize. And that is how we are all the time. Anytime. I've discovered I could be like that all the time. Like when I'm listening to you the whole time, I feel like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, no, means guess what? My brain is gonna say, I really like to spend time with you. Right?
Yeah.
So by knowing that feeling exists, then you know, I feel like it's a very powerful place. And same thing. So even with the feeling that of, for example, that is the brain will label as fear, it's just another sensation. It's very powerful to separate it.
It's coming
Because-
from your head.
Because when you separate it, and you can see the thoughts for what they are, you end up with the next thought. The
Yeah.
thought is that I'm fine. You know, it looks really beautiful up here. You know why? Because the thought that says I'm going to fall and die didn't take over you. Because it's not being triggered nearly as much because of the foliage. There's the foliage there that shielded the ground, which seems like a miles away.
Yeah. it
So
was tiny.
those sensation wasn't coming. Therefore, the brain wasn't brain, I'm going to die if I fall off thoughts. And guess what? The brain goes and brings something else and says it's awfully nice up here. It is awfully nice
Isn't
up
that
here.
interesting? It's so interesting.
It's the key is just being present. And then, you know, to your point, you're like, how come I get to see it? Because I didn't see this before. I mean, part of me, I think we always had it, but somewhere along the line, you kind of like something along the line, you know, we kind of like have to go around,
Yeah.
forget it, and then you come back again to it.
Other people get that feeling. We're all human, and I get it, you get it.
I get it. We get them. I think a lot of people get them different ways. Sometimes we attach it to like some sort of a way of getting it. And then that way of getting it becomes the problem, whether it's drugs or something else or something. It could be something wonderful, but we end up getting attached to that thing, thinking that is the answer. You see, it's not the tiger.
No.
It's not the height.
Something triggers
It is the thought in our head that we get looped that takes this away.
Yeah.
Keep us stuck in a certain state, which doesn't work. But if you don't get stuck with that thought, then you realize, hey,
Yeah.
there's no tiger here. I'm going to plan not to be where the tiger is. That's all I need to do.
It's an emotion. It's an
And then you
emotion.
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So thank you for the GDI. I call it GDI, glimmer drop incoming. Or I call it a chocolate fondue inside.
I never know when it's coming, but it usually comes from the outside.
Well, you know what I've discovered? I tell you this one thing is this spot right here. I can find it right here. I practice this thing. I can go right there and bring that GDI feeling right back, the chocolate fondue feeling. If I just go to sensation, and then suddenly presence is the key. When you're present, the sensation can be, again, it's just sort of the path to presence. From the place of presence, you discover underneath it, there's that feeling all the time. And that feeling I've discovered can sit simultaneously with the sensation that the brain might call fear. It's like this, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the cloud and the sun that you don't see on a cloudy day. The sun is still there. You can still somehow experience it.
Yeah.
And that chocolate fondue feeling is what we are. It's default state. It's underlying. You know that baby there? I feel it all the time. I look at those babies. They got no thoughts in their head to loop them.
Yeah.
Right? They're like that all the time. They're not trying to impress you. They're not saying I'm a bad baby because I poop.
They don't know anything, really.
They're like, they're my cat.
They're just existing.
They're just existing. Yeah. If they're hungry, they cry. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. So, it's that place that simultaneously us that we're uncovering again. That's all.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're here.
It's a good place.
It's a beautiful place. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always a
And
pleasure.
thanks everyone for being here. Mhm.
Okay.
We'll be here tomorrow. 9:30. Well, I'm going to put this out. I'm going to send out an email and try to get a few people come back. And I got some referrals and so on that came to me. I just had a chance to follow up. I just came back from holidays.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I quite enjoy coming here and listening to you, and I've made friends here.
It's perfect.
It's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. I don't know why.
Well, because there's a reason for everything I don't need to know.
Oh, they're all cured.
Hmm?
They're all cured.
No, this room is full. Did you know? All those chairs are full. Some people will tell you so. I just can't see it. But I'm pretty sure somebody can.
That's all positive thinking.
Thank you, Ken. Bye for now.
Talk to you later, sir.
All right, this is great. Here, let me see. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to end the stream and I'm going to edit this into 2 sections and see if I can get it onto a little playlist. I'm going to stick it onto the website so for people who missed the session, they could look in if they want. Bye for now. Have a wonderful day. This is Cinco de Mayo, the 18th Monday of 2025. It's the one and only. Have a wonderful, wonderful magic and miracle of every vivid moment.